If he can retire, why not you? So just working with a guy today, my man, we'll call him Paul. Okay, good. Finney's having an emotional stay here today. First, the Charlie Kirk thing really bothered me. And then Finney, we had to take him to the ER last night for the hospital because he had we thought was a seizure. I'm not sure it was or not, but man, it scared the living bejesus out of me. He did it twice, and just like his back hind legs kind of gave out, and he's just laying there like crippled. It was sad, man. And then he peed all over himself, but he's back there now, so I'm hoping he's doing okay, man. Anyway, so let's talk to the guy. It was just an emotional basket case. Look at my man. There he goes. Good boy, Finney. Hi. Yeah, he's looking good. And they said he's anemic or something like that. And they said, anyway, it's scary. But it looks like he's doing good right now. That's good. He didn't eat for like 4 days. He just like moped around. And yesterday he came outside. He was doing his running back and forth thing. Oh, he got a mosquito putty. Sorry. And he just stopped, mid-run, and he just kind of flopped over. And I was like, well, that was weird. Like, he'll throw himself down when he's tired, but he didn't really run that much. Actually, I can go in the other room because I get mosquitoes. And I was like, what? And then the way he plopped over, I was like, what? And then he just like laid there. And I was like, this is weird. So I went to go like pet him, and he barely wagged his tail. He didn't turn over for anything. Just like he was like crippled. I said, what is going on? And you want to come up? Well, you can stay down there if you want, puppy. And they did the same thing later, except he was like laying on his side. He was like facing like Superman kind of thing, prone, and he was like peeing all. And this is inside. He's like peeing all over the place, and he did again today. Man, anyway, so I'm hoping he's all right. Anyway, so I was talking to this guy today. What did I say? Called Paul. All right, so here's Paul's deal. Married for over 20 years. Wife leaves him, loses half his stuff. Massive leukemia was a consequence. Massive, like it looked like he might not survive. Massive leukemia. This is just 15 years or so ago. Not only was he half his 401k, his retirement accounts and everything was taken from his divorce, but he's now suffering life-threatening. Literally months to live. Anyway, but he had met a girl before that. I think he said a year or so before that, maybe less, maybe a year, maybe two, something like that. And she had been taken for a ride with her ex as well. The other two exes didn't hook up or anything like that, but she had been taken for a ride. Literally just scumbagish stuff. And she basically didn't make any money because she stayed at home to raise the children and whatnot, and just didn't have a big job. And my man Paul, he makes decent money, but he's not making high six figures or anything like that. Not even close. It's on the high five to low six figures. But we fast forward till today, and if you've won the game, you can stop playing. How? They still got a small mortgage, not much, but they've been squirreling away money like crazy because they were debt-free they got married, so they're debt-free for about 8 years or so, and then they moved around to take jobs, various places. So they always had, never laid down the roots, had to move around. Now they finally settled down, so they got a small mortgage, not a huge mortgage, $200,000. That's 6.5%. But Paul's wife has found a job she likes. It doesn't pay huge money, not six figures. She got health insurance, but she likes the job because she never really had a job because she's raising children, taking care of the husband and whatnot, moving around. This ex-husband, and so they got just north of $1 million in total net worth, about $800,000 in their portfolio, $200,000 in equity in their home, and they're not. It's not like they're not spending because they tithe. They basically $10,000 a year to tithe. The 3 kids that they have between them, or how many kids they got? 3, 4, 2? I can't remember. The number of kids they have between them are self-sufficient. But it's just they drive older cars. That's the same old story, man. and they just don't spend that much money. But we're still talking about spending, roughly $100,000 a year to include a tithe, the health insurance. But I don't understand. I literally don't get the idea, but that people I don't understand it. And we're talking, and I just, again, because I'm a basket case, I said, hey, can I say a prayer for you? Because, the fact that he's a leukemia survivor, and we don't know how much longer he's got, you know what I'm saying? He did, but he's an honorable man. He's not trying to leave his company in a bind or anything like that. He just wants to make sure that he has the financial wherewithal to do it when and if he decides to do it. And I'm just like, anyway, it's just crushing. Just a great, great guy. So I said, hey, because I just, I love the fact that he isn't miserable. He's not mad. He's not MGTOW where that stupid thing has been going their own way. He said, I found it was a miracle. I found my wife, a miracle. And so he said prayers because, and of course, I start tearing up because I'm so happy for my man. He found a wonderful woman. He's fine. They're going to be fine. His kids are fine. He's still fighting. He doesn't know when the time comes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right now it looks like it's stable, but he doesn't know. He says you can only get so much chemo or something like that. He goes, right now I look like I'm doing okay. He takes his measurements and stuff. He keeps a spreadsheet because all my clients are spreadsheet guys. And he goes, should I be more aggressive in the portfolio? I said, if you won the game, stop playing. You can be, but you don't have to be. I said, I probably wouldn't be. And he's about, basically the equivalent of the Wellesley Fund, about a third stocks, 2/3 bonds. So I'm not sure I would do it right now anyway, because, you don't know when you're going to hang up the boots. We don't know. But you're probably a short-term person before retirement kicks in, within the next 5 years, most likely. Now, as such, you don't want to be taking on major risk. Actually, I got to watch this guy. Make sure he's not. Okay, there you go. Good boy. You don't want to be taking on major risk, in the short term before retirement. That doesn't make any sense. So I said, he's won the GameStop plan. I'm only giving a 4.8% rate of return on his portfolio. And he's coming out freaking smelling like roses, man. It's a wonderful thing to behold. So we were saying our prayers, and we added for my, I don't remember if I said for my dog, but I certainly said for Charlie Kirk and stuff. And I was just getting teary-eyed talking to my man because I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him, proud of him. And it's wonderful to behold when you find someone that's there for the ride, for the long haul, who sits through you through thick and thin. And I love it, man. And it doesn't happen overnight. It might take until your second marriage or something like that. I don't know. But it might never take. But you might still have friends. You might still have relatives, family, whatnot. But I love the fact he didn't ever give up. He said, no, I'm not bitter. I'm going to come and crush the best I can until God calls me home. He's still tithing. It's so much better than hearing these idiots like, oh, women will take advantage of it. Because, look, we get it. But what does that do? What does that do to yell like that? Say, women, marriage is stupid. Like, that's like saying driving is stupid. Well, don't you know how many people die in a car crash? Yeah. Driving serves the vast majority of us quite well. Marriage doesn't serve the vast majority of us quite well. There's 50% of the marriages end in divorce. So first of all, that's an antiquated number. We know it's the baby boomer generation that had a mass divorces. And you take away the people who've had more than one divorce, and that's the 50% rule is not. So like my dad's second wife had 3 husbands. My dad and 2 guys before that. All right, so my dad and my dad's second wife had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marriages if you want to include him marrying her and her marrying him, but at least 4 marriages, but 5. 4 unique marriages, 1, 4.5 marriages, I guess you call it, whatever. That's where that rule comes from, or that number comes from. 50% of all marriages end divorce. Yeah, because you got, multiple marriage people. It's just fact, man. It's just fact. And then the younger people, like people born in the 1990s, we're not getting divorced anywhere near the same capacity as the baby boomers. And the people coming up behind us are giving divorce even less. Now, you can make an argument they're not marrying, and they're marrying older. I grant you, that's all these are true. But the facts are, the divorce rates are going way, way down. What are you doing, puppy? Oh, out here. And so if we're not divorcing at any capacity like the baby boomers are, you can't sit there and say half the marriages are end up broke. You're not. The majority of marriages, I'm just Hold on a sec. That's just my wife. She came out here to look at Knucklehead. And she's going to go get him some medicine. Anyway, I don't want to hear that, marriage sucks. I mean, it could. Anything sucks. Driving sucks. Going to a football game could suck. There's a million things that can suck. Absolutely. The question is, and all in all, is marriage a force for good or for evil? It's certainly a force for good, without question. Without question. And my man found the right woman by miracle. And he's alive, lives to tell about it. Suffered divorce. Her divorce is worse. And yet here they are, crushing. It's just, don't overlook the wins in your life. Let's just put it that way, because you got some, man. You got some. And again, if this guy can, if you've won the game, stop playing. Maybe something you should be thinking about too. All right, God bless.